Hey there, welcome back friends. In our last video we have checked the resource types. Now in this video we will try to understand what is the impact of different resource type on query param and path param. So let's get started. Now friends, how to deal with query param and path param is something which we have already seen. So let's proceed further. First of all, we will get rid of this variable, and in place of this variable we will receive the information, we will receive the value of x from query itself. So it would be like query param. Name of the query param would be very simple, x, and it would be, for example, a string entity. So it would be like a string x, and our work is done. Now friends, as soon as we do this, definitely we won't be able to increase the value of x, because value of x is something which is static, which is there on the URL. As a result, we will get rid of this statement and we will simply display the value of x, and now things are looking good to me. Alright, now for example, I run this application on the web server by restarting the web server, then definitely we will get a proper output, and I am pretty sure it will work just fine. Alright, the application is up and running. Let us try to navigate to the app URI or the API URI, which is jaxrs/app, and here is our output, which is the value of x is null. The reason being we haven't passed the value, so it would be like question mark x equals test, for example, and we get the proper output. This is nice, this is good. Now moving forward, we can do the same with path param, right? So in here we can again add a yet another value as path param. Now friends, the path param is something which we can read the information, but we need to also give that into our path. So take a note of it. So in here it would be like path param. The value of the path would be, for example, demo, and it would be a string entity and name would be demo. Let me save the changes and we will also expand this a little. This is good. Now it would be like we will give this demo as app/demo. Alright, this looks good to me. And now if I refresh this page couple of times, here is the outcome, because now we need to pass some information in this demo. So it would be like app/test demo, and here is the output. We are able to also add the path param, which is nice. Now we can also read the information in here. So it would be like the value of demo path param is, and we can display the value of path param, which is demo. All right, let me try to refresh this page couple of times, and in the background Eclipse will reload the context path, and here we go. A weird looking silly text, but the important thing is the value of x is test, which is derived from here, x equals test, and the value of demo path param is test demo, which is derived from this part of the URL. These things we know how to extract information from URL, but there is one small little thing. We can also simplify things a little. For example, we can get rid of this entire thing and we can paste it in here, and we can modify things a little, for example like this. Now what is the advantage of doing this? These two variables x and demo are now available for any method inside this class. In fact, these two variables are class level variables, right? And we can easily make the use of these variable inside our method, which should work properly. But for example, we try to run this application, then there would be something interesting. Let me show you. So in here, if I restart the web server and if I show you the console real quick, then there would be a crash. We won't be able to compile this application. Alright, so here is a crash. Let me show you. So in here, if we check the console properly, it will say validation of application resource has failed during application initialization, and the next line will say cannot create new registration of component class. Then there would be this class path, and then this is the important thing. Let me show you. Existing previous registration found for the type dot source equals null, parameter x of java dot lang dot string or dot steadyz dot x cannot be injected into singleton resource. Alright, so the same thing will be repeated for parameter demo as well. So the most important part is this, that this particular variable cannot be injected into a singleton resource. Now, definitely if we check, the home page will start, but our page, this particular page will not work now. There would be a crash. And if we check this particular application, the only change which we have made is making two variables, making two class level variable rather than parameter of the method. Now, how does this differ from the previous methodology? Why? When we are creating variables, query param variable and path param variable, we are not allowed to run this application and there is crash. Understand this. When there are like parameters to the method, the value in the parameter is passed later, right? And whatever be the parameters are nothing but only the holder, placeholders. Those are temporary variable. Those are the variables where a new value is passed, and based on the value, the method will work. Whereas when we create the class level variables, these variables needs to be initialized beforehand. We need to have the value of these variables x and demo beforehand. The values needs to be injected. There is a difference, right? So let me repeat it once again. If we are making use of class level variable, the variable needs to be injected beforehand. In fact, before actually creating the object and using the object for our response. Whereas when we are passing the parameter to the method, the variables as a parameter are placeholders and the value are passed later. As a result, we can work with parameters even if the method is singleton. Pardon me, even if the class is singleton. Whereas if we are making use of class level variables, then we cannot mark the class as singleton, else there would be a crash. Alright, so finally, in order to make things workable, let me get rid of the import and singleton annotation. Let me give the application couple of seconds before it reloads the context, and now finally let us try to refresh the web page, and here is the output. Alright, so this is it, and here is the output without the usage of singleton and with the use of class level variables, where we are keeping the information of query and path param. Alright, so this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.